What is going on, everybody? Welcome to DSM pregame live. Phillies Marlins preview game 3 of a 3-game stand. The Philadelphia Phillies are going for their 8th straight win and their 2nd straight series sweep this afternoon versus Miami. Lineup cards, pitching matchup, keys to victory, best bets, all that, and a lot more when we are back in 30 seconds.
Gets around in front. Joel Embiid and Philadelphia has it.
What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. As I mentioned before, this is DSM Pre-Game Live, Phillies Marlins edition. We're streaming to you guys live right here on DSM Media on our Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook channels. Guys, if you are watching live and want to be interactive on today's show, head on over to the YouTube channel specifically. That's the best place to get your comments, questions, thoughts, concerns pulled up on the screen with myself. As always, head on over to @DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. There's a link tree in our bio that will take you to every social media platform we are available on. Follow us, like us, subscribe to us, whatever you got to do to get all of DSM Media's great content here daily, Monday through Friday. But let's get right into it, guys. Before we head on over to today's matchup, get into lineup cards, predictions, all that good stuff, I want to talk about last night's 4-3 win over Sandy Alcantara and the Miami Marlins, because once again, here we are following the day of a Phillies victory saying this was different. This one was special, and we've said this on multiple occasions all throughout the year. You can go back to the Braves win with the Nick Castellanos home run that started this win streak. You can go back to the home runs in the 9th inning in Milwaukee against Josh Hader. You can go back to the 4-game sweep against the Pirates or the Nationals that they wouldn't have done in the last 2 seasons. So we're right back in this situation where why was last night different? Why was last night so special? Well, the game yet again had a weird flow to it. Sandy Alcantara, the Phillies did a horrible job, in my opinion, attacking him and trying to work up his pitch count and get him out of the game. Now, it's a very thin line of what you want to do with a great pitcher. He's the odds-on favorite for the NL Cy Young. He's got a sub-2 ERA for a reason, everybody. But do you, A, want to attack him early in the count because you don't want to get behind in a 2-strike count? You don't want to be down 0-2, 1-2, etc. Because if you do, against a guy like him, it's more times than not, you're going to sit back on the bench with a K on your stat line. Or do you want to take pitches, potentially get in a hole in the count, but work his pitch count up? And I felt like the Phillies didn't have a clear idea. They would get down 0-2 in some counts, but then the next at bat, a guy would come up and swing at a pitch above the zone and pop up or ground out, etc. So heading into like the 6th inning, he had like a 48 total pitch count. Heading into the 8th inning, where the Phillies were they already got 1 run on him, but it was 3-1 at that point after Bellotti gives up an insurance run to Miami. And you just felt like, man, he could really go the distance right here. Like, he could go the distance, not give up another run, and he'll shut the door on the Phillies, and this win streak's going to come to an end. But what happens? Gene Segura starts off the inning with a swinging bunt that somehow stays fair down the left field line in the infield. Bryson Stott comes up, rips one back up the middle, first and second, right? Brandon Marsh comes back up, 0-2 count, mind you, rips one up the middle, 3-2 ball game, first and third. Then Schwarber comes up, rips one down the line, 3-3 ball game, first and third. Now they're cooking, except you get a double play off a broken bat line drive by Rhys Hoskins. Marsh gets doubled up at third. But the very next play, what happens? 2 outs. Boehm keeps the inning alive, takes one to right field. Schwarber with a ballsy, risky attempt to get the third base to make it first and third, runners on the corners there with 2 outs, which ended up paying off because the very next at bat, JT rips one in the left field. Phillies take the lead. Phillies ultimately win the game. Schwarber doesn't score from second on that JT hit, but what did he do? He forced the right fielder for Miami to be on target with that throw, to make that throw to third base. Lucky for him, it was off target, he slides in safe. If it was on target, well, Schwarber's just sitting duck and he's sitting there about out by 35 feet. So the Phillies bats come alive late in the game against the NL Cy Young favorite at the moment. It was incredibly special to watch that unfold, and the crowd ate it up. This was the most amped, the most energetic, the most juiced I've heard the bank in a long, long time. There was only 23,000 or so there. Not that that's not a lot. It's a lot of people. It's more than the Wells Fargo Center would have sold out. But in that big ballpark that can fit about 46,000, you're talking under 50% last night capacity, and it felt like it was a sold-out crowd. Schwarber gets them going. He runs out to left field to start the top of the ninth. Left field fans are going nuts. They're on their feet the entire top of the ninth for Dominguez to come in and shut the door on Miami. He looks spectacular again. I think in like his last 33 innings, he's got like a .84 ERA. He is as untouchable can get in that 8th and 9th inning slot right now. So shout out to Sir Anthony Dominguez as well. But I also want to touch on Noah Syndergaard real quick before we get into today's matchup, because yesterday on the pregame show, Phil Stifle and myself discussed how, it's not going to be easy, but if you want to beat Alcantara, the opponent, meaning Syndergaard, whoever's facing Alcantara in that pitching matchup, has to almost match him. Matching him is going to be damn near impossible. And Syndergaard didn't match him, but he kept the Phillies in the ballgame. He almost matched Alcantara. Syndergaard goes 6 innings, 2 earned runs. That's it. So what happens is it allowed the Phillies to hang around. Then they got to run back. Like I said, I know Bilotti gave one back, so it's 3-1 heading into the 8th. But when you're only down a run or two against a guy like that, anything's possible, especially with this lineup. It would have been a lot different if Noah Syndergaard struggled with his command and his control like he did in his Phillies debut and got pulled in the 4th or gave up 5 earned in the 5-6 innings that he pitched, right, where it's 5-1 now in the 8th. Phillies have no shot. What he did was keep them in the ballgame. I thought the first 2 or so innings, he struggled with command again. He would get hitters down 1-2, 0-2 and count. And then next thing you know, here comes a changeup. Here comes a fastball right over the heart of the plate. And then right around when that 3rd inning started to end, right around the 4th inning, I felt like he really settled in. He started to miss more bats, less hard hit balls, and he was able to work through those next couple of innings very quickly. And like I said, continue to keep the Marlins scoreless after the first 2 or 3 innings there. So Syndergaard was very, very good last night, especially for what you're expecting him to be. You're only hoping that he can be the 4th or 5th guy in this rotation. Right now, he's most likely the 5th. So that's all you need. No more Bailey Falter, no more Christopher Sanchez, no more bullpen games, right? That's what Syndergaard's here to do. And if I can get 6 innings of work out of Noah Syndergaard, only giving up 2 or 3 runs every outing, I will definitely take that out of Thor right there. But again, it was a great 4-3, gutsy, nerve-wracking type of win. And I said this earlier on Trending in the AM. It was like a Eagles Sunday night victory. Now, I don't know if this resonates with any of you watching or that are going to watch the replay, but what that means to me is like when the Eagles play on Sunday night, those games don't get over till like 11:30, sometimes closer to midnight, right? And just think about like the Eagles playing the Cowboys, right? And they come away with a win. It's a great game, blah, blah, blah. Well, now it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're still not asleep because you're so amped up and excited about what they just did. That was me last night with this Phillies team. Now, clearly the game didn't end at midnight. It ended at like 9:30, 9:45. But you just didn't care. You didn't care about going to sleep. You were up. You were up walking around. That's how energetic you felt after this game. And this team is clearly playing with that same energy, and it's translating, it's reciprocating back and forth from the fans to in the clubhouse. And you see that with how Kyle Schwarber and the dugout was reacting last night while everybody was getting pumped. Let's get into today's matchup. With all that being said, Kyle Gibson back on the mound for the Phillies today. I feel like everyday game, Gibby is on the mound for some reason, but it's paid off recently. He's 7-4 on the year, 4.36, but he's working on that. Almost threw a perfect game on Friday night versus the Nationals, so he was spectacular. And his last couple starts have been really good. He's getting deep into games. He's striking more batters out, and he's giving up a lot less runs. The Phillies, however, are going against Edward Cabrera. Doesn't have a lot of work on the year. He's 2-1 with a 2.61. But he's only thrown like 20 and a third, 20 and 2/3 innings. So he doesn't have a lot of work. He doesn't get deep into games so far. But from what I've heard or what I've read on the kid is he's rising and he's somewhat of a stud. So the Phillies might have their hands full again with a Miami pitcher today. But if you can get to this kid early, if you can get him out by the 5th or 6th inning, that's a win because like we've discussed before, this Marlins bullpen is nothing special. So if the Phillies can find a way to get to the bullpen before the 7th inning or by the 7th inning, they should be able to find some success. Now, to me, this is more so about Kyle Gibson than the Phillies lineup trying to find success against Cabrera. Because I think Kyle Gibson, especially heading down the stretch here in August and September while we're trying to get into October and crack into the playoffs for the first time in a decade, Kyle Gibson is going to be a key part of that. Now, is he the third guy in this rotation? I don't know. If you had to take my money today, it would be Ranger Suarez most likely after Wheeler and Nola. But Kyle Gibson's definitely fighting for that right around that third spot right now in the rotation. And we need a solid performance out of him today. Phil checking in. What's going on, Phil? Good Gibson or bad Gibson? That's always the question mark with him, right? You don't know if you're going to get 7 innings to hit Kyle Gibson or if you're going to get 3 innings, 10 hit Kyle Gibson. Right? You have to hope with this Marlins lineup. Man, they don't have much. I know Aguilar can hit for some pop. He's hitting in the low, I think he's hitting in the low 200s at the moment. JJ Bleday, apparently he's a local guy and from Pennsylvania. He's been eating the Phillies up in the first 2 games, but he's not much. Miguel Rojas normally gives us issues. He hasn't done anything yet. Joey Wendell, Garrett Cooper, they're just a bunch of guys who are struggling at the moment. And you would have to imagine that a game last night, as Phil said on the morning show today, that's a gut punch to the Miami Marlins. That sucks all the energy out of their dugout. You have no shot to even win the series now after that loss. You just saw what this lineup did to your Cy Young race starting pitcher. So what's going to happen today against the young kid? We will see. But I'm predicting now that Kyle Gibson has a very, very successful day on the mound. I'm not going to go overboard. We're not going to sit here and predict 8 innings, 3 hit. We're not going to do none of that. But I think Gibson at least gets through the 6th, maybe into the 7th and comes out in the 7th. Maybe 4 hits, 1 earned, maybe 2 earned, maybe something like that. But he definitely, if not just keeps the Phillies in the game, he gives them a chance to win or extend their lead. Castellanos home run. Mrs. Beard. Is this Mrs. Beard? Just checking in, predicting a Nick Castellanos home run today. I love it. I hope so. I'll have to check out the odds for that and see if it would pay anything to put some money on a Nick Castellanos homer today. He's been a little bit silent this series after, kind of coming out hot against the Braves and against the Nationals. So we'll see if he can pick that steam back up. He is in the 6th hole. So speaking of Nick Castellanos and this order, here is our Phillies lineup card today. Shout out my man KC for the graphic. Kyle Schwarber leading off in left field, followed by Rhys Hoskins in the 2 hole at first base. Alec Boehm on the hot corner, batting 3rd. Derek Hall cleaning up today, DHing with Nick Castellanos behind him. He's in the 5 hole, in right field. Bryson Stott in the 6 hole at shortstop. Gene Segura in the 7 hole at second base. Catching today is Garrett Stubbs. No JT Realmuto. That's interesting. In the 8 hole. And Matt Vierling in center field, wrapping up this lineup in the 9 hole. No Brandon Marsh today. So I don't mind it. Now, I know people are, well, where's Marsh? He just got here. I thought he was going to be the everyday center fielder. JT's hot. Why are you sitting JT? You're sitting JT because you're about to go into the toughest series you've had in probably a month or 2 months, right? And he's been playing a while. He played both games this series. He played a majority of the Washington series. Give him the day off now so he can play all 3 in New York versus the Mets and not need Sunday off versus the Mets when it gets to, whether you're going against DeGrom or Scherzer or however this is going to play out. The only thing I see here in this lineup that's a little different, now obviously Hall's cleaning up. Why is that? Well, that's because JT's out of the lineup, like I just said, so that's fine. Stott over Segura. That's a little bit different than we've seen in past days. It's whatever. We're not gonna sit here and scream and yell and complain about it. I'm fine with Gene in the 7 hole. I probably would have Gene ahead of Stop, but maybe the matchup makes a little bit more sense with Bryson being the lefty, and you break up those bats a little bit at the bottom of the order. But all in all, I think this is more than a viable lineup put out there today by Rob Thompson to beat the Miami Marlins and get their second straight series sweep. So speaking of how are the Phillies going to come away with a win today? What needs to be done? Who steps up? And my eyes go for some reason to Rhys Hoskins today. So last night, you look at last night in that 8th inning, you had a lot of Kyle Schwarber last night. You had a Bryson Stott big hit. You had a Brandon Marsh RBI. You had a what's the name? You had a JT RBI last night, right? He's been red hot. Where is Rhys Hoskins falling in line here? And Rhys Hoskins is coming off one of the hottest series I've seen, hitting 4 straight home runs in 4 straight games against the Washington Nationals. I'm expecting Rhys to pick it up. It's a day game. It's nice weather out. Something just feels right about Rhys getting a home run today. So I'm going to match Mrs. Stifel's Castellanos homer with a Rhys Hoskins home run myself. But outside of that, I look to him to really – he sets the tone at times in this 2-hole. He gets on base for the meat of this order to come up. We all love Schwarber, and we all love what Schwarber did last night. A double, 2 singles. That's not what Kyle Schwarber is or what Kyle Schwarber has proven to be so far on the Phillies. Kyle Schwarber is going to hit over 40 home runs this year. Kyle Schwarber is going to drive a lot of runners in. He's not going to get on base a ton for the middle of the lineup. So who sets the table for the rest? It has to be Rhys, whether that's walking today, whether that's taking balls into the gap, going the other way with it. Just find a way to get on base, and I think the power number will come into play today for Rhys Hoskins as well. Phil saying, no Vierling needs ABs, but thought Marsh was the, quote, starting center fielder. It is interesting. Now, I'd have to look into it because I have not, let me check real quick what hand Cabrera is. So I don't know if he's a lefty and he wants to sit Marsh today versus the lefty and have Vierling with the right-handed bat in there. Edward Cabrera. Come on. He's a righty, so makes a little less sense, Phil. I don't know. It's whatever to me. Like I said, you're going for the sweep today. You've already won the series. Get your starters. If they need rest, give them a day off today rather than them needing a day off in New York versus this critical Mets series this weekend. So it's whatever to me. I really don't care that Marsh is out of the lineup today. It's fine. Kata, I love trading our top prospect for a platoon center fielder. Kata, you are way too down on Brandon Marsh. I know he got picked off on doubled up on third base last night. Can't happen. It was a rope hit at the shortstop. He got caught, right? Dude also 0-2 count, ripped one up the middle to make this, to kind of keep that run going in the bottom of the 8th against Alcantara. So he's been fine. His glove, his speed in the outfield has shown. I don't know what Thompson's, philosophy is here for the day off, but again, it's okay with me as long as after today, Marsh then continues to be the center fielder for the next 5, 6, 7 days. Then if he needs a day off again, fine, fair, don't care about it. But don't, as Kata says here, platoon center field. That would completely go against what we've been thinking this trade was all about, trading Logan O'Hoppe 1-for-1 for Brandon Marsh, who's hopefully going to be your center fielder of the future. So get him all the time in this lineup that he can. He's been helping. So very odd. I agree, guys. We'll see. But as I said, Rhys Hoskins is where my eyes go. He is my player of the game today. I think he hits one over that left field wall. So I'll have to check with what Rhys Hoskins' home run numbers are for you guys. But my best bet of the day, where do we want to go here? And I don't love I don't love the over-under. I don't love the first 5. So those are kind of out for me. Kyle Gibson over 4.5 strikeouts. I like a lot. However, that line is set at minus 155. So not a lot of, juice there for the Kyle Gibson strikeout, and you cannot bump it up. So don't love that. So I'm going to head on over to the batter props here. And if you're interested in that Rhys Hoskins home run, clicked on Gene Segura by accident. Rhys Hoskins is only plus 290 for a home run. So somewhat semi-likely to hit one according to the odds for the rest. He is actually, out of everybody in today's ballgame, he has the lowest odds to hit a home run. And Nick Castellanos for Mrs. Stifle, he's plus 400K. So if you want to sprinkle a little something on Nick Castellanos, there is your chance. But I'm going to take a look at total bases. And like I said, with Rhys Hoskins being my player of the game today, I'm taking him over 1.5 total bases at plus 130. So I'm not going to risk the home run. Never like betting home runs. But I will take him for 2+ bases today at plus 130. Lock that one in, guys. And now let's get to predictions. I think the Phillies complete the sweep. I really do. I know the bottom of the lineup. No JT today. Marsh is out for Vierling. It seems a little bit weird, but this team is red hot. And like I said earlier in the show, that had to been such a deflating feeling, such a gut punch to the Marlins clubhouse last night, seeing your ace, seeing the favorite for the NL Cy Young get taken advantage of by this Phillies lineup in crunch time in the 8th inning last night. So I think that took all the wind out of their sails. I think the Phillies win somewhat comfortably today. I think they get to the Marlins bullpen at least by the 6th. I think the Phillies will score anywhere from 6 to 8 runs. I'm not going to go overboard. I'm going to go a little on the lighter side. I want to say Phillies 6, Marlins 2 or 3. I'll finish it up. Phillies 6-3 victory. They'll cover the run line if you want to add in Phillies run line. Love them today. And with that being said, they are going to be full steam ahead heading into New York for this critical series. And what more could you ask for? Now, I'm not going to get into the series right now, but seriously, what more could you have? 2 division rivals, both extremely hot. The Phillies complete the sweep today. It is what? It'll be 13 of their last 14 or 12 of their last 13. Phil checking in. He's going 8-2. Phillies win. Book it. I sure as hell hope so, Phil. But both teams red hot, don't like each other in New York. And you have Ranger, Nola, Wheeler for the Phillies, and you have Scherzer and DeGrom. And then I forget who's on the bump. Is it for the Mets on Sunday? It doesn't say yet, but you have Scherzer, DeGrom, and then we'll see how it plays out after that. But we know that Wheeler will be on the mound Sunday for the Phillies. So advantage Phils on Sunday. Of course, Friday night is apparently on Apple TV. Not understanding it, not liking it. I'll have to find a way to get it. Obviously, Eagles preseason will be on as well. So it's going to be a very tricky night for Philly fans here. Might be that 2 TV setup kind of night. But guys, thank you so much for everyone who commented, everyone who tuned in live. If you didn't watch live, thank you for watching the replay. Go get ready for a Philly sweep. Get the brooms out. It's happening. This team is red hot, and it's happening at the perfect time. You can check me out on Twitter at DylanJD98. And of course, don't forget to check out at DSM_media on Twitter. Hit that follow button. Check out all the guys, all the hosts, all the shows we have going on here. We're looking to add more. So if you're a content creator, if you're a podcaster, whatever, if you're interested in starting, hit us up, talk to us, let us know what you want to do, and we'll see what we can do for you and help you grow as well. Hit that subscribe button, like this video on the YouTube, like us on Facebook, share it out, whatever you got to do. We greatly appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Ring the bell and go Phils.